Okay, so here we are, chapter 5. So, Mackenzie just called Dante a Neanderthal. Oh, and that's his trigger word. Oh, he's not happy about that. Oh, get this, get this. Dante's mouth stalled and he lifted her from the throat. The expiration of his hungry hands arrested. What did you call me? In the momentary respite, Mackenzie found reserve she'd never known she had and spun herself away, dragging her skirt back down to her knees in the process. What did you expect? Your caveman tactics may have got you where you are in business, but can leave them behind when it comes to the bedroom. Have you forgotten, he uttered through teeth tightly clenched. It was you who turned up naked in my bed. It was you who agreed to become my mistress, and now you think you have a choice? Right. Right, now you think you have a choice. What a prick. Yeah, yeah. But gets for the meeting, jobs are safe for the moment. Okay? Right. And the fact is, okay, that Mackenzie has now agreed to be his mistress. And then now she wants him. Now she wants him, okay? This woman is so confusing. Okay? Right. Let's be okay. Right, let's be here. 2 weeks he would use her, peel like an orange, devour her and spit her out and spit out the pips. He glanced over at her, then, his eyes like deep dark pools of promise, and she showed up what he saw there: desire, need, hunger. How long would he wait to take her again? He'd already shown he was a man with a powerful appetite for sex. She'd thwarted him and once by escaping from his room while he'd slept. She evaded him a second time by insulting him and halting him in his carnal tracks. But how long could she avoid the inevitable? How long could she hold him at bay? How long did she really want to? What is wrong with you, Mackenzie? After what he's done to you? What you want him? Right. But he's like, well, okay, so we've got to go. If we run Mistress anywhere, other people can run the business. The hotel's safe, okay, just get a junior manager to kind of step in. And she drives home. She's like, fine, okay, fine. So she drives home. What to pack her bags, okay? Because obviously you're going to need a wardrobe to be a mistress. And she's in the middle of nowhere, like a little cottage, kind of isolated, okay? And, right, to pack her bags and get ready. And then Dante shows up. Right, right. Here you go. But of course, okay, because in a spike perverse logic, she packed a sexist flannelette pajamas. She once told her about the whole sex thing. Well, memories from last night were still to run unprocessed any logical way. At least flannelette would be reassured until that happened. Oh yes, because flannelette pajamas, okay, flannelette pajamas, okay, will just destroy any momentum, okay. Any woman wearing a pair of flannelette pajamas, okay, is immediately, is like a no touch from his own. Okay, because that's what the power of the flannelette pajamas, okay? Right. But then Dante shows up at a doorstep, like, where were you? Where were you? You just left. Were you leaving me kind of thing? Were you leaving me? Okay? Right. Right. So, yeah, so he finds out where she lives, okay, knocks at the door saying, basically, where are you? You're my mistress. Like, be with me 24/7 because I'm such a prick. Right. He found her gone. She hadn't been able to rise on her mobile. So he raised her on a mobile and decided she'd changed her mind. You really thought down the runner, didn't you? So true to form. You had to do the caveman thing and come dragging you back to your cave again. How sweet. I didn't realise you cared. Right. And this was one, okay, she's in like a little cottage, okay, she's feeding a cat. Of course she has a cat. She's like, of course she has a cat. Right. Right. So after she lives alone and she leaves with Dante, she packs a suitcase, okay, of stuff that Mistress wears, okay, and her flannelette pajamas. Alright. Also, who the hell's watching a cat? Alright. Right. You were there at the house, he said at last. Did you see anyone? If I'd have entered in the room where she retrieves her case, raised an eyebrow at size or lack of it, and she hadn't missed his eagle-eyed appraisal of the house, taking it all in, searching for something, evidence of cohabiting. It's just me and Misty. So who's Richard? I'll go there back to that. But then Dante Cruiser did strike as the kind of man who'd like to share. Nobody. A man I once knew. A friend. Right. Right. Okay. And go back to Richard, okay? Richard, okay, who basically has used her, who didn't love her, who called her an ice queen, who called her frigid. Okay, yes. Right. Here we go. Right. Coming from my first ill-fated romance, I started to believe he was right. This is Richard, by the way. Till last night where Dante had blown her away and kept threatening to do again every time when they were alone together. What was it about this man with the dark, turmoil-filled eyes who bullied and forced her into a deal she had no idea he'd ever honour? A man who taunted her unmercifully, who threatened her with sex on the kitchen bench top, then deprived her of the same. Okay, yeah. Oh, I saw that. Okay, Dante was like, I could take you on this kitchen bench. Cheated her of the same. Surely she should hate a man like that. It was the kind of hate, she told herself, a simmering resentment for all that he had done and all he had assumed. The scene in the kitchen played out over again, the anticipation, the sheer depth of disappointment when he'd all but offered her to himself and he walked away. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, take me in the kitchen, he kind of says, now we're good. Oh yes, a blistering resentment for all that he hadn't done. So he didn't take me in the kitchen with only my cat and present. And she's disappointed. He didn't. Right. And this is when, okay, they're on the way to, I think it's Sydney. Right. She ever wondered what it meant to be Mrs. Now she knew, having his attention to herself for almost an entire day, only to find herself being shoved aside to make way for his business associates, someone who could help him build his fortune to even greater heights. She was a indulgence, a diversion, merely 1 or 2 weeks in downtown entertainment for a busy empire builder. Right. She would have fought today, pushing him away, insulting him at any opportunity, testing his limits, thinking it was all about her. It wasn't, not in the widest sense. She was just a vehicle. She called herself that. Because it was all about saving Ashton House. If she could win this man over in bed, how should she expect him to relent about the fate of the hotel? 1 or 2 weeks of opportunity. She won't waste another minute of it, starting right now. She turned his hair, caught his eye this time, held it and smiled. It was halfway through outlining the strategy for tomorrow's meeting with Quinn when he saw her. He paused confused when for once she didn't look away and bury her face in her book. Confused even more when she smiled. What was that about? And this is when he's talking to Adrian, okay, who is associate, who Mackenzi doesn't like. Okay. Alright, this is Adrian describing Mackenzi. She's kind of pretty, Adrian included, throwing the glance Mackenzie's way. Even though she could do with a nose job, Dante found anything her nose was that bad, kind of cute in a way. Her name sounds familiar. It should. She's the ex-manager of Ashton House. Adrian's eye shut up. Ah, she's a woman. Very much so. And so she agreed to come along for the ride, given that she's about to lose her job when you shut the hotel anyway. Not quite. Mackenzi was quite vocal on objections to me closed down the hotel and made a deal with her she'd come with me. I think about changing her mind. You told her you'd think about it. Donna turned to smile. That's about the size of it. But you're not going to change your mind about Ashton House, are you? That's never going to happen. Not a chance. Dante's such a prick, he's gonna tear down the hotel anyway, okay? Even though he said he'd think about it if Mackenzi be his mistress for a couple of weeks. And Mackenzi at the time, I guess, kind of like, well, what now? I need to use, okay, my feminine wiles. I need to use my femininity, okay? I need to basically seduce Dante, okay, so he won't tear down Ashton House. Oh, what is wrong with these people? What the hell is wrong with them? Right. Sorry, they landed in Auckland. Sorry, not Sydney. Sorry, it's just Australia. Right. Right, this bit here. Right. Sunday at the suite, and right. Would Dante expect her to commence her duties tonight, having found her in a bed like she demanded? I'd experiencing his sensual tug on her most of the day, a tug which threatened to bring her undone at least twice. She didn't doubt it, but soon she would find out, because she's in the big bed and she's alone. Okay, right, and Dante never comes. Right. Right. Anticipation, cold, and dancing a gut, chapter 6. And trembled anew, wrapping her hands around the midriff and clutching hold of her arms. She heard his approaching footfall on the plush carpet, and exactly the moment when he entered the room, where she refused to turn or acknowledge him. At least the features gave too much away. Do you want anything from room service? No, she said, her voice a little more than a croak. Then make yourself at home, I shouldn't be too long. And he leaves her. And she is disappointed and frustrated because he's not just taken her there and then. No, she is 24 hours ago what he did to her, and now she just wants more. She just had a sexual awakening, I guess. What is the hell was wrong with this woman? You know, like call the police. Right. And the next morning wakes up. Okay, she's wearing the flannelette pajamas. Okay, but she decides to make them sexy. Okay, right. Under the flannelette of her pajamas, her skin grew prickly and tight. Did he have any idea how much she wanted him right now? Would make a difference if he did. She's trying to seduce him wearing her flannelette pajamas. Okay? Right. Right. And this bit here, okay, this is when Dante is just, he's trying to introduce Dante wearing a pair of flannelette pajamas, and Dante is not taking the bait, okay? Whatever. Right. Right. So Dante's like, oh, Paul all-nighter, the problem with the zoning, Adrian seems to have got it covered, Adrian who no one likes. And there's a, what are you planning on doing today, mistress of mine? She's like, whatever you're planning, she wanted to say, I'm ready. But she couldn't. She wanted him to come to her. She wanted to think it was his idea. She wasn't about to beg. Right. When all glanced in her direction, he pulled up, he, he got dressed and from Mackenzi's point of view, had to be kidding. How was she going to be admitted if he wouldn't even come to bed? Well, you should be absolutely ecstatic about this, Mackenzi. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. Right. Mhm. Right. But Mackenzie's all alone. Got his credit card, okay, but doesn't really go shopping or anything. And right, this okay. So, because now they're stuck together, okay, and he's all business, doing all business stuff, and Mackenzie's trying to seduce him. But no, it's not about to beg though. Okay. Right. Mhm. Right. He growled. He does that a lot in his fucking book. He wasn't in the mood for this. He hadn't slept for 30 something hours. Quinn was playing hardball. Quinn is the guy who is a kind of issue is over the business. Quinn was playing hardball. Smart Matt Mackenzie was making things any easier. In fact, he was beginning to wonder why they brought her along for the ride. And Mistress went so far she was a major disappointment. She had taken her in the office when I had the chance and tamed it into submission right there and then, totally given her space. Right, what the hell had he been thinking? She'd been the one lying awake in his bed for him. She'd been the one who responded in flames to his charge, the one who agreed to become his mistress. No one set conditions on Dante Caruso. I love the his full name. No one set conditions again on Dante Caruso. Right. At least for all, someone expected to provide nothing more than a few nights' pleasure. Right. So, yeah, so essentially, okay, he turns up at this after a day at work to find that Mackenzie is not happy because he won't sleep with her after 36 hours okay of doing business and do business stuff, whatever. And she's pissed. She's pissed off that he won't sleep with her. She's disappointed. She's on anticipation like come on Dante and ready. What the Right, right. Right, okay. Mhm. Right. So she goes to leave. Okay? Alright, and this bit here, okay, is when Dante crosses the line, okay, she's like, oh fine, okay, if you're not gonna treat me like a mistress, I'm leaving. Okay? Right. I didn't agree to sit around all day like some vivacious member waiting to serve her surly master. He leaned in closer to her. Plenty of women would enjoy the privilege. She stood her ground, only the rise and fall of her chairs betraying her quickening breathing. I think you're confusing enjoy with endure. He growled. He does that a lot. He growled. His fingers tight around his glass. She seemed to enjoy serving me just fine last time. She tossed it in higher, her colour rising. I was asleep. Then maybe I should wait until you're asleep, he suggested. It'd be damn sight less argumentative for a start. And maybe stop playing this game and get it over with. He's just stated that if you're going to be like this, okay, during the day, I'll wait till you're asleep and just have you anyway, okay? He's basically said, I'm going to assault you as you're sleeping. And her argument is, stop playing this game and do it. This is so screwed up. It really, really is. Okay, so chapter 7. So Dante is enraged, okay, because Mackenzi's like, do me, because it's what she wants, okay, because Dante's appendage is like kryptonite or something, okay, she's had it, and that's all she wants, okay? Okay. And so Dante, well, he gives it to her. Right. He flung the glass aside and crossed the room in a heartbeat, and knowing the smash of glass as he slammed against the wall, punching the air from her lungs before she even realised what was happening to her. Before she could react, and his mouth was on her, hot and furious, his hands wild and tearing at her clothes. Yeah, this is what's known in Mills and Boone terms as an aggressive seduction. This is aggressive. No, literally, okay? He has her against the wall, going at her, okay? Saying, do you like that? Do you like that? When she says no, okay, he pushes it even harder, okay? He basically, but just aggressively seduces her till she gives in, and it winds up, of course, being the best of her life, okay? And this bit is after, okay? Right, he lowered her legs and then he flattened his butt because he hit the floor, but he still had her. And a moment later, she stared at herself and he pulled fractionally away. Right, and he saw, You're crying. She squeezed her eyes shut, her mouth tightened as she gave a shake of her head. Then what's wrong? What's wrong? Are you serious? What's wrong? Okay? She looked up at him hesitantly, her features tortured, her green eyes wild and glossy like jewels. Just, thank you. Pride swelled large in his chest. He had hers. She was his for as long as he wanted, till he tired of her. I tend to make the most of it. Right. It was only when they came apart that he realised. He cursed at last, slamming his open hand against the door, cursed himself for desperation that had seen him forget to use protection. What? But so focused with rage, goaded by her taunt, and so focused on proving his point that he hadn't been thinking straight. She jumped, turned her face away, her eyes afraid. Oh, yeah, afraid, yes, of course. What is it? I didn't use a condom, he said, knowing he's scared, a touch in his stinging hand to her cheek. Are you protected? She nodded dumbly. The pill, she said, her voice low, and half drowsy in the aftermath of their love-making. Her lips swollen and pink and beautiful as she spoke. She frowned a little then, and she couldn't help but smooth her brow with one pad of his finger. Right. He kissed her because he couldn't resist her lips anymore, and smiled at the tender sweetness, thankful that they'd both been relying on him. They hadn't both been relying on him for birth control. We're both beyond thinking, but I promise you that won't happen again. Yeah, okay. Yeah, right. Yes, the aggressive seduction against the wall, in which our heroine, Mackenzi, turns around and says thank you, because she's been pushing for this since the moment they walked in with her sexy fan-lit pyjamas. I hate this book so much of a passion. What is wrong with these people? What the hell is wrong with these people, okay? After what he does to her, and then she's wanting more, because in her head, she needs something to prove to herself. What? Trish Morey, what the hell is wrong with you? You wrote the book, okay? Right. Right, this is afterwards, okay, here you go. She tingled anew as she remembered how his skin had felt next to hers, her inner muscles tender, still pulsing with the memory of how he'd felt. It was better than she'd remembered, so much better, so much more. The sensation fueled by hour after hour of anticipation, hours of frustration. God, how she wanted him. to have experienced a hunger like it before, and never forgotten her mind or her purpose was such an all-consuming obsession. Right. And of course, okay, now as Mackenzi has had, I guess, a sexual awakening because she's so stupid. Oh, no, I tried, you know what, this is a situation where I feel sorry for any person this has happened to, okay? Anyone who's gone through this in the real world, I'm sorry, okay? It's awful. But her reaction to it is just so out there. She's grateful to him because he's shown her the way. He's made her a woman. He's gave her great sex because her ex Richard didn't. And he treated her badly. She needed what to retain to be saved by Dante. Right. And even the fantastic sex has somehow made her look more attractive. Right. She looked different, she thought, as she surveyed the result. Her eyes were lined with coal, smoky and seductive, and her lips still plump from their lovemaking. Even a kink in her nose that she hated so much, less noticeable tonight. A smile grew wilder. Maybe the mistress had its good points after all. Right. And now that got the sex thing out of the way, she could step back and think more rationally about what she was doing. Dante had seemed to be reasonably happy with her performance, from what she could tell, and if she kept pleasing him in bed sooner or later, she would have the opportunity to talk to him, to make him see the madness in destroying such a beautiful building when it gave pleasure to so many. Maybe she might change his mind after all. She had to face it. She was hardly going to visit Ashton House by a return to acting like she had before. And then, of course, she went to take a pill, of course, it's contraceptive, and realises, right. She told Dante she was on the pill, so just the word that she'd remembered. She poured a glass of water, went to pop out the day's pill. She noticed, sure, that wasn't the right day. Do you even know what day it is by now, Mackenzi? I mean, 2 days ago you were the manager of a hotel, and now you're a man's mistress, so hey. She must have missed one. The kind of sickening realization that she missed not one but 2 pills. The first that night in the hotel, when she stayed over in the hotel. Does that a lot in this book, by the way. Just as a actual critique. The first that night in the hotel, when she stayed over at the hotel. Why would you use the same word twice for the same thing? Unexpectedly, the second when they arrived in Auckland. So late she hadn't been thinking straight. Oh, Mackenzie's not protected. Oh dear. For 2 days. For 2 days, Mackenzi is not protected. And then, okay, they meet up with Stuart Quinn. Now, this is where, oh my god, I just rolled my eyes with this. Now, Stuart basically owns a property. It's on the harbour. It's just where the business side of it, okay? Because this is a business arrangement with a businessman and a businesswoman, okay? And he owns like this property on a harbour, and Stuart Quinn and his wife are there, and Christine, and Mackenzie's there to kind of look pretty as the mistress, and Dante wants to tear down the building, okay, because he can do that, okay, all right. And once again, Mackenzie being a boy's name. Why? This is like the third person so far, okay, to mention Mackenzie's name being a boy's name. It's not, okay, all right. What an unusual name for a woman, Christine said, honestly, after introduction were made. I don't think I've ever heard of that one before. It's not a family name, Mackenzie told her. Usually the province of firstborn boys. A parent decided to break with tradition, sort of. I struggled to have a child at all. I was an IVF baby, and my parents decided that they may never get another chance. So went with tradition, even though the first one was a girl. They chopped the E off the end and gave me Rose as a second name. So there's something feminine to go with it. Okay, my niece is called Mackenzie, by the way, and it's still got the E at the end. And this book is set in Australia, okay, and there's lots of people in Australia with that name, girl, who females, okay? I actually looked it up. My Kindle was dead. I'm going to put a link, okay, to how many people have the name Mackenzie. It's common, okay? And, Mackenzie, what, that's a boy's name. No, it's a unisex name. As someone who's got a unisex name, okay? Hey, my name is Jodie. What's known by Joe? Here you go, Mackenzie Rose. Alright. Mackenzie Rose, Christian said, nodding as if testing the name on her tongue. I like it. Individual and feminine. I think it suits you too. Right. But then, okay. Stuart says to Mackenzie, okay, about this business deal, good deal, bad deal, what am I doing? And Mackenzie kind of like speaks up, well, actually, no, I think you should go for a better offer. On the contrary, Mackenzie said, without a glimmer of remorse, from my experience dealing with Dante personally, be wise to hang up a better deal if it means dealing with someone else. And then they talk about the business and the zoning and that kind of stuff. And essentially, instead of tearing down this building and make it better, building it, make it good. Has anyone here seen Pretty Woman? And I guess you have. Okay? So, Pretty Woman. Right. So, at the end, okay, where Vivian has inspired, I've got his name, Richard Gere's character, Edward Lewis, here you go. Instead of tearing down buildings, okay, and tearing down companies, is to build ships and to make something, okay, and she inspires him. It's that. She speaks about, okay, this business and the zoning and what they can do, and Dante starts to get inspired. Absolutely. Dante starts to feel, I don't know, human, okay, right, here you go. And at the end of it, you know, Dante's kind of like, well, maybe there's some purpose to this. It's a good idea for my business. It's a good idea for Stuart. Okay, we can work together as a collaboration. And he seems really surprised. He's starting to see, maybe, hold on. Maybe Mackenzie isn't a whore after all. Well, this is what I've basically been treating her for all this time. Again, how Mackenzie has been reacting to this is not that particularly great either. Okay. What's that about? This is a late one. That's just for collaboration. Where did that come from? I don't know. Seemed a logical thing. Quinny's funds to upgrade an iconic boat building business, missing out on contacts because it can't reach all, giving you put a stop on finance, and meanwhile, if me want to turn the land into some kind of waterfront apartment deserts, why not build something bigger? There's no set of apartment buildings. Something that builds on and must preserve the business been part of the harbour front for a better part of a century. Boat building. It's going to boat building. It's a Pretty Woman. Pretty Woman all over again. Okay? Right. And of course, okay, the subject of I'm here for Ashton House comes up again. Okay, I'm here for Ashton House. And of course, Dante's asked this, like, yeah, you're saying this, okay, because I'm going to say for Ashton House. You think, what, my Grinch heart is going to grow 3 sizes today? Right. And it's kind of like, it's just once again, Mackenzie, you know damn well what I want. Stop you destroying Ashton House to make you see the madness of doing so. Right. He shook his head slowly from side to side, and he came closer. Look on his face, cold triumphant. No, it's not. I like to think you're here for some noble reason. I know what you really want. You made it patently clear the last 24 hours, with your taunts and your goading and your all too innocent steps of seduction. Is that you're trying to do this morning, and when you let the cover slip so innocently to show off your cleavage? Pity you weren't wearing your need-to-toe pajamas when it was clear you were trying to lure me into your bed. When it wouldn't work, you got desperate and figured it out. If you made out you were leaving, I'd get angry enough to want you to stop. As I did, to our mutual benefit. No, she said truthfully, I was leaving. I'd had enough. But you hadn't had any. That was really bugging you, wasn't it? Admit it, Mackenzie. You're not here to save anything. Not Ashton House, not the world. You're here because you want me in your bed, against a wall, any way you can damn get it. And the kicker is, a kick to the face after this absolute arrogant boss has done that to her. The way Mackenzie is written is, yeah, that's the worst. That is the most appalling thing about this book, is the fact that after what he does to her, okay, his forced seduction, okay, in chapter 1, yes, this woman is, it's like, I don't know what the hell's happened to her. She's gonna be like, I'm a tough businesswoman, okay, business hair, who's a hotelier, to, I will do this because I want you, Dante. I am so pathetic, okay? I am grateful. It is written as she is grateful to him for what he did to her, because it gave her sexual awakening, okay? It proved that she wasn't frigid. That it proved her boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend, Richard, okay, who we never even see wrong, because someone loved her. Well, I love you enough to do that to you? What? Do you see how fundamentally screwed up this entire situation is? It's disgusting. Okay? How an author, any author, could write a character like this, who essentially was assaulted. No, not essentially, she was. She was assaulted, and she's thanking, okay, her assault. She's thanking the guy who did it. Yeah. Alright. Okay, chapter 8. Oh, God. It's caused worse Sasha like a knife because he was so wrong. She wanted to save Ashton House. It was the reason she was here. The reason she agreed to this crazy deal in the first place. Yet at the same time, he was so right. Because she had been prepared to walk away, to flee, to leave Ashton House to its fate. Or she had been able to take the pressure attention of wanting him, of waiting for him to make her his mistress anymore. Make it feels good again as he had their first night together. Right. But the thing is, his words, okay? Right. Right. Well, so Dante's like, well, fine, you know what, I'm not going to play these games right now, okay? I've got work to do. I've got work to do, okay? I'm going to go and sort out this business deal, okay, with Stuart Quinn, and you go and you do you, okay? Right. And so he cuts us aside, okay, he's not in the mood tonight, right? You'd think you'd be grateful, you know what I mean? End of the day, you're... No. Sleep still evaded her. Her body too hot under too much cover. Her mind in turmoil over a man who was such a contradiction. Just him, Mackenzi, just him. A man who went from ruthless tycoon to passionate lover and back again without giving her time to either catch her breath or guard her emotions. A man she didn't want. So why did it sting so much that he hadn't wanted her? Jesus Christ. Okay. Also, at the time, okay, subplot of Adrian going on. Okay, so Adrian screwed up some kind of zone issues, and no one likes Adrian at the moment. Okay. You remember in Pretty Woman, Jason Alexander's character, him is the equivalent. Okay. Right. Right. But Dante's inspired. Okay, they're gonna build this business together and build boats and make Auckland better. Right. Right. And of course, okay. Right. Will she be angry with him when she woke up? Damn into hell, but half of them hope she was. There was something to be said for anger, especially when it turned a mere mistress into a tigress. Whatever he'd been expecting when taking Mackenzi as his mistress, he hadn't been expecting his tigress. Stop repeating words. She'd proved herself to be. Okay? But they wake up and Dante apologizes to her and says, "You know something, we can work in this business. We can actually do, okay? We can actually make it work, okay? Right, right. And of course, once again, sex, great sex, okay? hmm Right. Mackenzie, and this is when, okay? Mackenzie's after having a shower and speaking about Ashton House. Bloody Ashton House. I don't even care about Ashton House. It can burn for all I care. She needed him for the power of life or death. He had over Ashton House, but she wanted him for herself. She's for in love with him. She's falling in love with him. Mackenzie let the massage and fun beat a water cascade over her. Was that so wrong? Or can they both enjoy each other for as long as this arrangement lasted? What did she do to keep her wits about her? And she was sensible. Not really. Sensible. No. I'm sensible. Most of the time. She'd always had been, and certainly wasn't about to fall in love with a totally wrong man. She'd made that mistake once. At least this one wasn't enough to get away with telling her she was frigid. Right. Right. And once again, a Pretty Woman thing, okay, is they go down there and like she goes to bed for the day and there's loads and loads of food. Like in Pretty Woman, okay, didn't know what to like, so just ordered everything. There you go. Right. And this is when, okay, Mackenzie is just describing how much she likes Stuart Quinn, okay, because they're going into business together, okay, and she's just entranced by Dante. The way she describes Dante, okay, is just this peak of alpha male masculine perfection. The white of his rose was a stark contrast to his dark features and olive skin. It could have been a model in any number of advertisements. From shavers to toothpaste to aftershave, it had women line up to buy the product. Yeah, okay. Hey, well, whatever you want. It looks so good, so real, 100% pure, unadulterated male. Okay. But then, of course, okay, I don't know if this is a line being crossed, okay, because they're getting along, and that, and is when she suddenly gets offended as the mistress, okay, even though she's sleeping with this guy, okay, to save a hotel, when he starts to buy her stuff. Okay? Right. Mm-hmm. Right, he gives her a box, okay? Right. Um, with shaky fingers, she picked it up, picked up this box, her mouth dry, her hunger pangs forgotten. Oh, and trust me, the way this food described, okay, trust me, I would not be turning down this food, okay? Bacon, salmon, scrambled eggs, forget the scrambled eggs, mushrooms, you can get those too. There were pancakes under the fur with bowls of rich red strawberries and a jar of syrup. Okay, no, no, literally, I'm like, yeah, later, let me eat this. Yeah, forget the eggs and the mushrooms are evil. Okay, right, she opens the box, okay? With shaky fingers, she picked it up, her mouth dry, her hunger pangs forgotten. That wouldn't happen to me. Um, as she eased the hinge top up, only to meet the most perfect emerald pendant she had ever seen. Large and emerald cut. See what I mean by repeating the same word? Okay? It should be perfect emerald pendant she had ever seen. Large and classic cut. Okay? Or delicately cut. So surrounded by like diamonds and suspended by a thin gold band, matching earrings nestled either side. I don't understand where did it come from? He's well, actually, it's downstairs. The jewelry parlor downstairs. Okay, and she kind of doesn't like this. Okay, she doesn't like the fact that just a minute. She doesn't like the fact the kid's buying her stuff. Okay, so is that the line? Is that the line we don't want to cross, Mackenzi? Is that the line not to cross here? Okay. Oh yeah, sorry. Right. Right. I wanted something that matches your eyes. I've always thought about that. Hey, my eyes are hazel, by the way. If anyone wants to buy me, um, green, something, a nice pair, just nice, emerald something. Okay. Right. Do you like them? The jewels winked and glittered back at her. Her movement reflected yet another dozen facet of stones. The colour indeed complemented the colour of her eyes, heightened it. How much would such a collection be worth? Too much, she knew, and accepting it would cost her even more. Well, what's it else is costing you so far, Mackenzie? I think your dignity is kind of lost, okay? Your dignity is in tatters, alright? They're lovely, she admitted, but that's hardly the point. Well, you're my mistress. Why shouldn't I spoil you, especially when you just resurrected a deal in the imminent danger of collapse? So the jewels were her fee for services rendered. It was so wrong. A gift this precious deserved to be given in love. Eyes that was hollow, its worth devalued, her worth devalued. Mary agreed to be his mistress, but she didn't want or need the trimmings. It wasn't a payback she was looking for. Okay, yeah, you went there with a tiny suitcase and nothing, okay, so yeah. Right. If you're suddenly feeling, I really can't take it. I didn't agree to this deal, so you can shower me with gifts. Are you really feeling generous? As something I would much rather have, she moved away from him, unhooking the necklace and replacing it back in the box along with the earrings. And that is, well, you know why I'm here. You promised me you would think your decision about Ashton House. And it means I won't be brought off any consolation prizes. I think I'm buying you off, aren't you? Look at Dante. Saving Ashton House is important to me. Not some meaningless trinket I get for sleeping with you. Meaningless trinket. Bloody hell. His voice was flattered on the box. Sorry. I must admit, I'm slagging off a lot of the dialogue, but that was actually quite a good line. That made me laugh. Meaningless trinket, his voice was flattered in the box. He moved from my hand, ditching it back in its platter with total disregard for its worth that had us shuddering. Oh, right. So you can let me know if you're close to making a decision, she ventured cautiously. Setting herself back into the chair. No. You won't tell me, or you're no closer. I'll let you know when I made my decision. Now eat your breakfast, it's getting cold. No one is cold as Dante, that was a fact. She nibbled around the edges of food that tasted of nothing. Oh my god, eat before! Eat before! Okay? Yeah, you lost your appetite. Ugh. While he sat there looking at her for all the world had been chiseled from a rock. It had been his deal, yet he was acting like she had a nerve to remind him of it. Too bad. She was like to remind him of it any time soon. Oh, okay.